All right, the FBI warning that China and Iran are using new tactics to target their critics in the United States. This after the Justice Department arrested 2 Chinese Americans for setting up and operating that secret Chinese police station in New York City that we've been talking about now for several months. Joining me right now is former Connecticut Senator, United Against Nuclear Iran chairman, former Democrat vice presidential nominee, and author of A Centrist Solution, How We Made Government Work and Can Make It Work Again. Joe Lieberman is here. Senator, it's always a pleasure. Thanks very much for being here.
Thanks, Maria. Good to be back with you.
So I want to get your take on all of these provocations from Communist China. A secret police station in New York City, a surveillance balloon sending data and information back in real time as it hovers around and above our military installation. And that's just, of course, 2 things that have happened in the last 2 weeks. Never mind the COVID-19 cover-up and the intellectual property theft that continues as we speak. What are your thoughts on these provocations?
Well, obviously, we have to take them seriously. And in a way, they're clarifying for us that we're entering a new period in world history, and certainly in terms of our national security. We're coming out of the period when we were focused mostly on the threat from Islamic extremism and terrorism. That's not gone, but we've contained it. And now what we're seeing, and we've seen coming, is back to a kind of great power rivalry. Russia, in a way, but it's a hollow power. The real threat to us is China, on the one hand, because it's so big and economically strong. The other is Iran, which is an extremist, ideological, theological power. And it's a time for us to be tough with them and to build our alliances. So the idea that China and Iran would be targeting basically their citizens or nationals within America with the Chinese police stations, or attempting, for instance, to kill an Iranian dissident, Masih al-Linejad, in Brooklyn a while ago, is just unacceptable. It's a violation of our sovereignty, and it shows what a battle we're in with China and Iran now. We hope both will be cold wars, not hot wars, but they have to understand that we're going to use all of our strength, military and economic, to push them back. And in the case of China particularly, we don't want to get into a war with them, a hot war, but they got to play by the international rules of law, or we're going to be competitors and enemies for the next period of history.
So what should be the response then? Because frankly, you know, all of these provocations have been met with no response from this White House. Sure, we had the arrest of 2 individuals who set up and are operating the police station, but that's about it. Bloomberg is reporting that the president is going to sign an executive order in the coming weeks that will limit investment in key parts of China's economy by American business. Now, corporate America has yet to get the memo in terms of the national security issues around China, but apparently the administration has been debating a measure for almost 2 years, and they want to take action around the G7 meeting in May in Japan, where they are hoping to put limits on how much American companies can invest in things like chips and other technology, quantum computing. Your thoughts? Should that be happening?
Yeah, no, it should be happening. And frankly, it should have happened a while ago. I mean, this is what's going to be different about this coming period of conflict, war, hopefully Cold War, with China. They're as serious a challenger as the Soviet Union was to us during the Cold War. But what's different is that we're totally tied with them economically. I mean, it is stunning that last year, as the conflict, the tension between China and the U.S. rose, and we were still working our way out of the pandemic, which started in China, trade between our 2 countries went up significantly. And they benefit somewhat more than we do, but we benefit from it too. We've got to hurt them economically. We've got to basically say, if you're not playing China by the rules of the road, you're going to pay for it. We're not going to allow our companies to invest in China, and we're not going to allow you to buy the things you need from the United States. We can't, sound an uncertain trumpet here or let them feel that they can confuse us or bully us. We're the greatest country in the world. We're the strongest economy and the strongest military, and we've got to use every element of our national power against China now before they provoke us into a hot war.
Yeah, and what about Iran? I know that the son of the Shah, the former Shah of Iran, has been meeting officials in Israel in the last couple of weeks. House lawmakers announced the formation of a new bipartisan caucus focused on the women of Iran. This happened yesterday. The Iranian Women Congressional Caucus's first move was a joint resolution condemning Tehran over the recent poisoning of schoolgirls in the country. Joe,
Right.
What is going on in terms of Iran and its uprising now?
Yeah, well, that's an amazing thing after all these years of this radical Islamic government in Tehran. The people have had it, and the women are leading the revolution. And in my opinion, they're really scaring the regime in Tehran, which is cracking down on them. They've killed probably more than 500 or 1,000 protesters, and they're threatening the Iranians in every way. And yet, and I think we're finally getting it in the U.S. For too long, the administration, the Biden administration, still thought that we could negotiate an agreement over nuclear weapons with Iran, which we can trust. You can't trust them. They're our enemy. They just wish us the worst. And I think, and we're not tied to them in any economic way as we are to the Chinese. So, in my opinion, we've just got to be tough with Iran. And it's why, again, going back to what I said at the beginning, we have to begin this by using our strength. And the next thing is to strengthen our alliances, including in the Middle East with the big Arab countries and, of course, Israel, which is our most trustworthy ally there. But when you see Iran and Saudi Arabia agreeing to resume diplomatic relations in an agreement brokered by China, that ought to really get people in the administration attention and get them to build our alliances and tell China to get the heck out of there.
Yeah, it's a great point. Claudia Tenney has been working on this Iran piece of in the House as well. Joe Lieberman, great to talk with you as always. Thank you, Senator.